y'all. My name is Ann Wyatt. I started my career in workforce development with the state of Kentucky in 2010. That experience ignited a deep passion for manufacturing within me. I started this show hoping to raise more awareness around the bright outlook manufacturing careers have. Join me as I sit down with some of the manufacturing industry's most successful changemakers and learn how they're partnering people with technology. It's time to give people more meaningful work. This is Workforce 4.0. All right. Hey, guys. Happy Workforce Wednesday to everybody out there tuning in today for Workforce 4.0. Really excited to have Rick Hobbs here from the Manufacturing Resource Center in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And Rich, it's really awesome what you guys are doing. In fact, I would say it's super cool, even.
No pun intended, huh?
Yeah, no pun intended there. But you all have this pretty innovative program that I'm super excited to share with my viewers today on engaging the middle schoolers in local area school systems, partnering them with manufacturing companies to kind of teach them more about the manufacturing industry, but also create content, which I thought as a content creator, hey, that is cool.
That's pretty cool.
Indeed. So before we get started in the conversation too deep today, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself, about the Manufacturing Resource Center, and about what's so cool about manufacturing?
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me today, and really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and to your audience. So I joined the Manufacturers Resource Center about 4 years ago. I came out of about 35 years of hardcore manufacturing experience. So I've been in those plants. I've swept the floors. I've done everything you can imagine in the manufacturing sector along my career. The MRC, the Manufacturing Resource Center, is a nonprofit. We've been in business for about 35 years. We serve the Lehigh Valley area of Pennsylvania. So 5 counties is our coverage area. We have Lehigh, Northampton, Berks, Schuylkill, and Carbon counties as our territory, if you will. And in that area, we have roughly 2,000 manufacturers that we can serve. So it's a pretty densely packed, pretty prime area for manufacturing. Manufacturing in the area represents the top GDP contributor. So it's 18%, if you will, of the GDP in the Lehigh Valley, which is much higher than it is across the state of Pennsylvania. So we've got a very vibrant manufacturing community, certainly. The What's So Cool program, that's what we're talking about today, obviously. We started it roughly 10 years ago in the Lehigh Valley. We just celebrated our 10th anniversary with our awards ceremony a few weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. And, we've been able to grow the program across the state in those 10 years. We have 60 of 66 counties in the state participating at this point. And we've actually, got growth outside of the state as well. So I think we have a dozen or so states beyond PA that are participating also. The program is pretty cool. Again, no pun intended, but we partner middle schoolers, 7th and 8th graders with local manufacturers. They go into the manufacturing location, walk the floor, kind of see what the processes are like, see what the products are all about. They get a chance, to see inside the 4 walls that they drive past every day and in the buildings and understand what the companies are doing. And they actually video with a Zoom, GoPro kind of thing going on, and video the processes, ask questions of the manufacturing personnel and whatnot, learn a bit more about what they do, and then they take that video back to school, edit it down to 2 minutes, and then participate in a contest where the public votes, for the most liked videos. So it's a great program. It's a community awareness program, certainly. Gets the students, the parents, the schools, the manufacturers all together, and really has gained a lot of traction in the last 10 years for sure.
That's amazing. So this, for everybody watching, you can, if you want to just drop a hello in the comments, or if you have any questions for Rich, as we go along through the conversation. Please feel free to do so. But for everybody watching, this entire episode originated a couple of months ago when I was just, I don't know, I was making a post and I wanted to really bring awareness to really kind of the cooler side of manufacturing. I randomly Googled what's so cool about manufacturing and it popped up. So I saw it and then I was looking at the website and I was like, are they making content for kids? They're out there making content. And so when I did the post, I think Kim Plyler, who is here backstage with us today, she'd reached out to me and she just found it and she was like, yeah, we're doing that. And let me connect you to Rich and to Karen Buck, who is also here backstage. We may hear from them as we go along too. But I got to learning more about the program and it turns out you guys are having like an entire award show for these middle school kids that you're partnering with manufacturing industries. And I just thought, this is the Emmys meets American Idol meets what speaks to kids, in my opinion, content creation. And I just thought that was so inspiring.
Yeah, it is. Just a couple quick comments. So the awards ceremonies you mentioned, we just had two awards ceremonies in our territory. We had one at Arts Quest in Bethlehem, and we had over 1,000 attendees. 1,000 attendees come out to that awards ceremony. It was actually live on TV. So talk about pressure, right? We had to do all those awards and keep the timing just exactly right, but we did a great job. Students get awards. They come up. The teams come up on stage. They're presented typically by the manufacturers to them. And it's a really exciting time. A lot of music, a lot of balloons, a lot of kids screaming and yelling. So it's a really, really motivational event. It's certainly all about the kids, and that night highlights it, certainly.
Absolutely. You got to love some music too. Music's like my favorite thing. If I'm making my own manufacturing award ceremony, what should be on my playlist?
Well, I think at the ceremony awards that we're talking about, they do a lot of the heavy drum beat kind of stuff, just to get the crowd pumped up. My playlist, my personal favorites, I like Fleetwood Mac. They didn't play any Fleetwood Mac, but that would be on my playlist certainly. So Dreams, which kind of fits in with What's So Cool. Kids dreaming about their careers in the future in manufacturing. All the Fleetwood Mac stuff to me is great, but didn't play any of that. It was more the, high energy drum beat heavy kind of stuff to get you excited, to get the kids pumped up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's you can't go wrong with that either, right?
Yep.
But love some Fleetwood Mac. They're actually going to be in Huntsville soon. So yeah, really exciting.
You talked about content too, just to jump to that for a second. So, these videos that we're talking about that the students actually make in the manufacturing locations, we've created a video library now of those videos. And we have close to 1,200 videos from 600 unique manufacturers. And the list is sortable. The website is sortable. So you can, go in and sort by type of industry, location, school name, company name, a whole bunch of different ways to sort it. And it's really powerful content for the schools. They can take a look at that, play it for the students. The students can refer to it as well. So it's a very powerful, content-rich site, obviously.
It really is. And Kim had mentioned that you guys were updating your website. So when I had originally found the site, I already was very impressed, but I did check out the updated website and the graphics, the branding, all of the content that you have embedded on the site. It's absolutely top notch. But it takes, it takes a lot of community involvement to host this event. And I was wondering, what that looks like on your end. And how is this program different from other workforce development initiatives geared towards the youth?
Well, it does take a lot of involvement and a lot of activity to put these programs on, and we do it, with a lot of partners. So we have, video partners, we have communications partners, we have website partners, we have a whole host of folks behind the scenes that help us. In addition to all the manufacturers, in addition to all the schools, the teacher coaches that we have, it's a incredible program, and it all culminates in those award nights ceremonies that we have. But a ton of effort goes into it. You can't imagine all the details. It's crazy when you're in it and going through it. As far as what's different about this program, quite honestly, I'm not aware of any other programs that are like this. I don't know that anyone else has anything close to what's so cool. So I think it's different because it's so unique. No one really goes into the middle schools like we do, 7th and 8th graders. No one really partners those classes with unique manufacturers. And I think, that along with the videoing and all that comes along with competing, creates a very unique environment. So I'm not sure that we have a competition at this point, which is kind of neat,
That is really that is neat and very unique. And I think that's something that we talk about on LinkedIn, especially quite often, is the need to really get into the middle schools and work with the middle school age children, right? Because by the time they hit high school, there's the argument that it's too late, or technical college. It's almost too late at that point. And middle school seems to be a great age to try to introduce manufacturing, to the future workforce. But I have a video here, and I was wondering if we had a little bit of time. I could show this video clip maybe for my viewers.
Sure.
Okay.
What's so cool about manufacturing? Student video teams from across the state are paired with Pennsylvania manufacturers and tasked with producing a 2-minute video about their company's unique work environment and career opportunities. Their videos educate students, parents, and teachers about career pathways and dispel the myths and stigmas associated with today's manufacturing jobs. To be successful, students learn digital storytelling skills, including producing, videography, editing, and marketing. They record all their video during one visit to the manufacturer, edit for weeks to whittle hours of footage down to 2 minutes, plus create and execute an original outreach plan to get others to watch their finished product. With these new digital storytelling skills, students are capturing and sharing videos about jobs in manufacturing. What's So Cool About Manufacturing was created in 2013 with 16 Lehigh Valley school districts competing. Today, 309 school districts have participated, representing over 60% of the state. That means since the contest began, it has impacted 60 of the 67 counties in the Commonwealth. Our student teams have partnered with over 600 unique manufacturers, and more than 6,000 students have participated. Reaching the largest audience possible has been the goal since the contest's inception. Regional public voting for the Viewer's Choice Award has resulted in over 4 million online votes. Additionally, this successful statewide program now includes a dynamic digital library of nearly 1,200 student creative videos that are used for career education in classrooms across the Commonwealth. What's So Cool About Manufacturing not only gives student teams the opportunity to learn about careers, technology, and digital storytelling, but the program is changing perceptions of students, parents, educators, and the community about what jobs look like at Pennsylvania manufacturers. And that's what's so cool about manufacturing.
That's a great video. I get excited every time I see it.
That is, you want to talk about getting hyped and pumped up. That is really inspiring. Can you tell us kind of a little bit more about what we saw in the video and, how I love that you're speaking to the creativity of these kids, right? Because when we look at the future of work and we look at, the workforce jobs, what they're going to look like in the future, even though we may not know what exactly those titles are or what exactly those roles will be or turn into, we know that creativity is going to be a very strong factor, a very highly sought out skill set because humans are creative. So tell us about what we saw in the video, and tell us a little bit more about the creativity that and how you're engaging with the children and really working with them to develop that skill set.
Well, first, I agree with you completely. Creativity and innovation are two really sought after skill sets and two very popular topics now across Pennsylvania and across the nation in general, obviously. Given the times that we're in, I think everyone is looking to create and innovate. It's one of the things that all our manufacturers talk about. What you saw in the videos were basically, real life scenarios with student teams in manufacturing companies doing their video filming. They were walking the floors, they were seeing products being made, they were asking a lot of questions, trying to understand, what's involved in making the products, what's involved in the processes, asking the workers what they like about their jobs, what they don't like about their jobs, just trying to get, embedded into that business for the, hours that they're there. I think that the videography piece is a creative piece as well. They have to go back and take that video that's 10, 12, 15 minutes and refine it down to 2. So they've got to edit, they've got to think about the messaging, they've got to really be clear in terms of their communications. So they have to be creative. And ultimately, if they want to win one of our coveted awards at the end, they have to be very creative in terms of how they present themselves too. So a lot of soft skills, go into that, how to talk, how to communicate, how to make eye contact, what kind of, creative schemes can they come up with to introduce the company, introduce the products. It really gets them thinking, and it takes a lot of, energy to do that, both from the students as well as the manufacturers. They have to be, kind of keyed up and ready for the students to come, ready for the students to ask their questions. And it kind of introduces a whole, energy boost to the company as well. They really like seeing the kids. They get excited. The kids come in with questions that they haven't been asked before. So it's an exciting time, both for the students as well as the manufacturers. They all enjoy it. It's a very enjoyable time, and it fosters creativity, certainly in the videography piece.
Yeah, absolutely. And with such a large participation from the manufacturing companies in the local area, what's some of the feedback that you've gotten from them through their participation as far as, recruitment, retention, community outreach, maybe even speaking with parents? What do you think the benefits are from having a program like this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a long list of benefits, and certainly, I mean, I think first of all, the manufacturers are excited to be a part of it. It gets their name out into the community. It allows the community to see what they're doing. It kind of dispels, some of the old prejudices and opinions that may have existed about manufacturing. If you looked at the video that you just played a few minutes ago, you saw that most of the areas that the filming was being done in were very clean, very organized, very safe. It's not the dirty, dark, and dangerous that some people used to think of manufacturing. Quite the opposite now. So I think the manufacturers are really into it. They love the exposure. The students and the schools love it as well because they've made a good connection. There's a possibility certainly for the students to go to work for those manufacturing companies. Upon graduation, many possibilities exist certainly down the road. It's community awareness as well. The parents get a chance to hear about what the students did when they went to that company. It's just good overall press for manufacturing. It's something that I think we all enjoy. It's a really feel-good program as well. You get excited when you see the kids excited. I know that's what motivates me the most as well. So it's a good program overall in terms of the messaging that it's sending and allowing students to ask questions and see what manufacturing is all about. It's a whole new world with advanced manufacturing technology. It's a different world than it used to be in manufacturing. And manufacturing offers, careers that can take a student their entire lifetime. There's things to do in manufacturing other than just making parts as well. They can be involved in human resources. They can be involved in purchasing, finance, and accounting. There's a lot of areas to move into, obviously, in a manufacturing company. So it offers that exposure to a full career, which we think is very valuable.
Absolutely. And they kind of get a chance to see the overall business scope of how a plant works. You're right. I mean, it's definitely more about it's more than making a part. It's an entire business that has a bunch of diversity in jobs. And I think Kim told me too that because you have been so successful for around 10 years now, right?
Yes.
That you have even created an alumni group.
Yes, we do have an alumni group. Obviously, we've got some students that are at the 10-year point, and then on down 9, 8, 7, and so on. And we did some videoing of those alumni for our 10-year awards celebration recently. It was pretty cool to see some of the kids that are no longer kids now. They're young professionals, obviously. So yes, we have taken advantage of the alumni. We also use the alumni for a complementary effort, which is called our Dream Team. The Dream Team is a group of young manufacturing professionals that have, come through the program. Typically, they're now working in industry, and we utilize them to go into the schools and talk to the students about their lives, their careers, their education in manufacturing. So, they tend to listen. The students tend to listen to the younger people more so than the gray hairs like me, and they can tell them about, the type of car they drive, where they went on vacation, what kind of music they like to listen to. They get a real snapshot of what a manufacturing professional's life is like, both on the job and, personally. And we want the students to hear that and to see that. We, again, think that's very motivational for them.
Absolutely. It gives them a chance to connect with some younger professionals that, I'm not going to say still, because I feel like deep down in my heart, I am also could still very much connect with that age group. But it gives them a chance to connect with individuals that maybe speak to them or approach them at their level, right? They know how to communicate with them. And
They
I
have
think that's
immediate credibility. Yeah, they have tremendous credibility with the students that they're speaking with. And, in the Lehigh Valley, we have, I think, close to 30 Dream Team members. And, in a given year, they talk to over 2,500 students in the classrooms. So they go into the elementary schools even to give their talks and their presentations. So it's a very popular program. Again, it's called the Dream Team, and it was a complement to the What's So Cool program. The Dream Team hasn't been around as long as the What's So Cool program, but it's got a lot of traction as well across the state.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, in addition to kind of providing that support to your younger workforce generations, you're building that mentorship relationship as well. And does that lead to opportunities for the students kind of as they go through the rest of their academic career, and maybe they're making those critical decisions on colleges and things like that? Does that give them an opportunity to network still at that point, or is it just through middle school? How does that work?
No, absolutely. There's a networking component there. And I think that's another piece of, the whole program. So again, we have the What's So Cool program. We have the Dream Team. We also have a program now that touches on high school students, primarily 11th and 12th graders. And it's a suite of programs that we offer for our workforce development. And it's all with eyes towards, getting them acclimated and familiar with the manufacturing that's going on in their area, in their community. And then gives them the opportunity to make those connections and to network into potential jobs after they graduate. So a lot of options for them. We also, and I didn't mention this before, but we also utilize a lot of the career and technical schools along the way to help with this program too. They actually make the trophies. They build the trophies for us. So there's involvement from the career and technical schools, which that offers another option, another alternative for the middle schoolers to pursue. Maybe they don't want to go to college, but maybe they want to go to a career and technical school, graduate, and enter directly into the workforce. So that's an option for them. But yes, the networking component is heavy throughout. We also, as the schools re-up, year on year, we also connect them with different manufacturers. So they don't go to see the same manufacturer each year. We feel that, diversity, having them see more than one manufacturer is beneficial as well. Again, from a networking perspective, and just to see different processes, to meet different people, we feel it's a richer experience through that.
Very cool. Very cool. I think we've got time for one more question here. And I think it's so inspiring what you guys have been able to accomplish in Pennsylvania. I think it's possible to maybe get some programs like What's So Cool in your local area as well. If you're a nonprofit or if you're working through a career center workforce development program. If I were out there and I wanted to, let's say I wanted to start my own What's So Cool program or kind of something similar to it, right? How do I get started in creating and developing a program? Because you are, really kind of putting into perspective the type of involvement and range and overall community support. What are some tips or best practices for implementing your own program like this?
Well, I think the first thing would be to contact the Manufacturers Resource Center. And obviously I'm biased in that, but we have a formula that works. We started it. We created the program some 10 years ago. We've rolled it out, across most of the state of Pennsylvania and outside of the state as well. And we have a formula that works. We know what to do and we know how to do it. So Karen Buck, our director of workforce initiatives, unfortunately is not on the call today, but Karen would be the person to contact. And she's got kind of a checklist of things to do and to get you started. So that would be the place to start. From there, it takes some patience. It takes some energy. It takes some involvement, obviously. I mean, this is a commitment that, the nonprofit has to make, if you will, to get this going. It doesn't just happen on its own. It takes a lot of energy and initiative, but it's so worth it, in the end, what it brings to the students as well as the manufacturing community. So start with the MRC and go from there would be my answer, Ann.
Awesome. Yeah, that's some great advice. And the MRC has chapters in every state. Are they local, or what's the best way to contact?
Yeah, we are based in the Lehigh Valley in the Allentown, Pennsylvania area, and that's our only location, certainly, but we can reach out to other entities, across the nation at this point. Karen has done it and has done it successfully. So, she's the man. She's the woman.
The woman. Yeah, awesome. Well, I really appreciate the conversation, Rich. Is there anything else that, you can think of about the program that you want to highlight while we have some time left for today?
No, just, how successful it's been and the future that we see, going forward with it. We really believe it's a sustainable program at this point. And, we love what it does for the community, the students, the schools, the manufacturers, and, hopefully it's filling up a pipeline of potential workers that can enter into manufacturing and be productive and enjoy a long, profitable career in the meantime. So it's all good. I don't see any downsides to this one at all. It's what we need for the future, certainly with some of the reports that you hear about job shortages in manufacturing, or employee shortages, I should say, in manufacturing. Programs like What's So Cool are really, very much needed to help fill that pipeline and to, change the perceptions that used to exist about manufacturing. So.
Absolutely. And I've got a note here in the chat. what'ssocool.org is the website to contact and get more information. I'm assuming that would kind of lead to a connection with Karen there on that end. But what are some of the other ways that we could contact you or reach out to you?
The easiest way is through the MRC website, which is mrcpa.org. Our names, contact information, email addresses, and all that are on that website, certainly. So that's kind of a starting point as well. mrcpa.org.
Perfect. Okay. Well, Rich, I really appreciate you coming on Workforce 4.0 today and sharing all of this amazing information with our audience and listeners out there. For anybody that wants to reach out to Rich, can they reach out to you directly or
Sure.
just Karen? Okay.
No, me as well. Yeah, rich.hobbs@mrcpa.org is my email address, and 484-895-9866 is my mobile number.
Perfect. And you are on LinkedIn too.
I am on LinkedIn, yes, as is Karen, as is the MRC. And if you visit the MRC website, please follow us. We're trying to build our social media profile and up our numbers, if you will, with followers. So please do that if you visit. Thank you.
Amazing. Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Well, I think that wraps up our show today. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and listened. And we will see you next Workforce Wednesday.
Thanks, Ann.
Bye.
Bye-bye.